If you want to stop me and ask a question or clarification or share something that works well for you, go ahead and turn your mic off or turn your mic on. Since there's only 2 of you right now, I don't think that'll be a problem. There's also a chat feature should you want to just kind of make a note there. But other than that, I'll just go ahead and get started. Since you've both kind of been in this world for a while, I might move rather quickly. So again, just stop me if you have any questions. Our new external site is bushnell.edu, and I'm kind of just mentioning that as an FYI. It probably won't be used too much by people within the community, but the my.bushnell.edu is also new, and that one you likely will be using more often. So your username is not going to include your @bushnell.edu, but the password will be the same. And you'll see on my screen right now a lot more tabs than you have access to, just because I am an admin, so I see a lot more. But this new site is very role-based compared to my NCU. So you'll really only see things that pertain to your role, faculty, staff, employee, that sort of thing. So in this faculty and staff tab, I do want to point out this faculty page, which you'll see a link to our J1 web site. And so that kind of replaces faculty portal if you're familiar with that. So this is a link here directly to j1web.bushnell.edu, and you'll sign in with your username and password again. And that's where you're going to submit final grades, midterm grades if your course requires that, and participation reporting. So you'll get more information on that from the registrar's office. But I just wanted to point out that's kind of one of the major things that you'll use my Bushnell for, and point out J1 Web. Some of the other things on my Bushnell that I'll point out really quickly are the quick links over here. So there's a link to Beacon Learning, submitting a help ticket, resetting your password, email, that sort of thing. So those are some good things on my Bushnell. J1 Web also will have your course rosters, I forgot to mention. And those will be the most up-to-date course rosters. So if you're ever wondering, have people added or dropped or anything like that, that's where you can go for that information. Email, use your @Bushnell email address for anything internally communicated. We do have this nice Office 365 licensing. So if you're familiar with that, actually, let me ask you, are you both familiar with Microsoft 365?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, the VA switched over about 3 months ago.
Awesome. Okay, I find that that's really helpful when we're working remotely. So you should have a Teams license, which I think you've both figured out since it looks like you're both joined here successfully. And that can be really helpful for, video chats or chats with your students. Did you have something, David?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just go down the line here. Help tickets. I think both of you have already figured out how to use the help ticket system. There is one thing up here when you're going to submit a help ticket. There's also this link to the knowledge base. And I feel bad because this is kind of a best kept secret, and it shouldn't be. But we have a lot of resources to help users with different things. I've written quite a few to this Beacon Learning faculty category, and they're all grouped by what it's about. So if you have a question on Big Blue Button, you can go to this Big Blue Button section. If you have a question on Gradebook, scroll down to the G's and find all of my things on Gradebook. So if you're ever wondering, I remember Elise mentioned something. I don't remember how to do it because it was so fast. You can go back to the knowledge base and kind of start there, especially on a weekend when it might be harder to get a hold of someone in IT. But just wanted to throw that out there. I also, at the bottom here, I have something called Tech Snacks and Tech Talk outlines. In the past, I don't know, 3-5 semesters, something like that, I've done short little trainings on different tools, how to use them better or how to use them at all. So if you're kind of wondering what's there, this is a great resource too. Yes, and quick pro tip, bookmark My Bushnell and J1 Web and Beacon Learning, and that'll be faster to access all of those. So as you know, Beacon Learning is also Moodle, but pretty much on campus, we all refer to it as Beacon Learning, and it will have all of your course content. I would recommend updating your profile and adding a picture. It kind of just gives it a little bit more of a personal feel for the online course. Courses are created 8 weeks before their start date, and they're hidden and empty. So you'll need to do an import and make it visible when you're finished. We do ask that you make it visible no later than Friday before the course starts, unless there are some, some circumstances that make that incredibly difficult. Like maybe you didn't have access to the course until the day of or something. And we understand that, but the sooner you make it visible to your students, the better it will be for them. We do often see help tickets from concerned students who don't see their courses in Beacon Learning, and they'll email their advisors, they'll email the help desk, and they're wondering, am I really enrolled in this course? Because I don't see it anywhere. So that's a good way to just kind of lower the anxiety of your students, is making it visible. In Faculty 101, which hopefully you both have seen, I keep moving it to the most current semester. So keep that in mind too if you look for it from one semester to the next. But it has a lot of resources in there. And they are resources that we need to update some more based on all the changes from this last summer, but it's a good place to look for contact information and maybe some basics if you need any of that. So faith integration, accessibility services, FERPA, and everything that is related to that. Title IX, so if any student is going to disclose any information to you about a Title IX thing, sexual assault, you are a mandatory reporter, so go ahead and contact our Title IX coordinator, director person, Jocelyn Hubbs. A lot of your programs, well, so David, this will be true of the MAL, but not true of an undergrad program for Trevor. But a lot of our programs do this read, attend, discuss, complete sort of course rhythm for every week, which makes it really easy going from week to week and course to course within a program. Students know what to expect and they know how to plan ahead. It's one less thing that they have to worry about when they're trying to learn all the material. Final projects are through TaskStream. David, you probably will work with TaskStream, but I'm guessing Trevor won't. So make sure that you ask your department head if that's needed for accreditation for that course or that program. I do recommend organizing your course content with a logical layout, even if you don't use this read, attend, discuss, complete format. And this works really well to organize it by week if it is an 8-week online program. However, for the face-to-face examples, you can also organize it by topic or category of resource. So one of our instructors, I could probably show you one of his courses, Doyle Schrader, he does our communications instruction. And I'll just show you one of his courses real quick. Let's go to Advanced Interpersonal. So he organizes it by a landing page. So anything that the students should see when they first click into the course, a unit 0, so maybe some basic things to get started, rehearsals and exams, class recordings, term paper, flash mob, extra credit. So he organizes it very clearly and easy so students know where to go to find something that they're looking for. But it's not, 16 tabs because there's 16 weeks in his face-to-face course. I think that makes it a lot easier on the students. You could also organize it by like a review and do section in a weekly format, but again, that's kind of up to you. As long as it is, what's the word I used? Logical in how you lay it out. Any questions so far? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I do have some links on this document, so let me share this, and I can email this out too, but I'm gonna post this in the chat. And in Beacon Learning, there are different activities and resources to add. I kind of have some links on what the most popular and commonly used activities and resources are. Big Blue Button has improved a lot, and I think the demand is going up because we have this kind of dual world of virtual and face-to-face. This is a web conference tool built in to our Beacon Learning platform. So I'll show you a quick example in my test course. I've already gone in here and done the add an activity or resource. I've selected Big Blue Button. I've given it a name, and now when I click into it, I can see all of the recordings that I've saved. And if I go to video, I'll see my recording here. I can also do join session, and I have some really cool options here. It's kind of like Zoom. You can do breakout sessions, and you can share your screen. You can upload a presentation. You can invite guests to join, and you can also dial in if somebody on your call is having troubles with technology. Any questions on Big Blue Button?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, cool. The other nice thing about it is when you do record, you have this option to see statistics. So you can see who was participating and who was speaking, the polls, how long they were in there. So if you're using this for grading at all, it's pretty easy, I think, on the instructor side. A lot of our programs also use it for like office hours. If you're an adjunct and you're remote, obviously you can use it for office hours or anything kind of like that. Quizzes, I do have a lot in my tech snack or in my knowledge base on quizzes and how to minimize cheating, for example, in an online quiz, how to randomize quiz questions, how to select from a pool of questions, all of those things. So that also might be in higher demand than normal. So if you get stuck on how to make a quiz in Beacon Learning, go ahead and submit a help ticket and I can connect with you. I think I might also do a tech snack presentation on that in this fall semester. So look for that opportunity as well. Announcements, you can schedule out your announcements, which is kind of nice. So let's say you know you're working on your course now and you want to go in and schedule an announcement for every Friday or whenever you have a big deadline. If you go to advanced, you can see display period. You can enable the start display and the end display, or you could just keep it displaying for the whole class duration. In here, I'm also going to jump ahead since you guys are both kind of, I would consider probably more power users. If you do this user underscore first name in almost anything in your course, a student and you'll see your first name displaying here. It's kind of a cool little personalization filter. So you could do that in your quiz. You could do that in your assignment description. You could just do it in a label on in your course. You know, it says, hey, user underscore first name, welcome to Beacon 101. And it will display with their first name, which is also kind of cool. So that was my little spiel on personalization filters and announcements. Questionnaires, they're also a good option. And I'll show you an example of what I've done in the MAL template, our Masters of Arts in Leadership. In week 3, at the bottom, we have this little student feedback questionnaire. And so what that looks like, there's only 4 questions, an optional name. How do you feel you're doing in the course so far? And that question is really supposed to get them to think about like a metacognition. How am I doing? Am I struggling? Am I doing okay? Am I doing so bad that I need to actually reach out and connect with my instructor? And then what are 1 or 2 things going well? What are 1 or 2 things that could be improved moving forward? And this, I've actually been really surprised at how thorough our students are responding in this because it's just an extra credit week 3 assignment. But I think it actually gives the instructor real feedback that they can use to tweak the course in real time in the middle of a term, instead of waiting till the end when the course evals come out and you're like, well, great, I didn't know everyone hated, the way that this course was going because they didn't tell me until the course was over. And you won't see those students again in this same course next time. So if that's something you're interested in, I can also send you resources on that, but just want to throw that out there. Accessibility and universal design. So I like to think of it in this list context: meaningful links, images, structure, and tables. So keep in mind your various users in your course. They might be using a screen reader. They might have some visual impairments, auditory impairments, that sort of thing. They might even have mobility issues. So if you're dragging and dropping quiz questions, if that can only be done with a mouse, that might be difficult for your users. And the Accessibility Services Department will be in contact with you if any of your students have documented needs for that. However, the more you can make it designed for everyone, the easier it'll be for you later. So if that does come up. And kind of along those same lines of images is closed captions on your videos. YouTube will do this automatically. So if you ever do make a video, I would personally recommend uploading it to YouTube first before sharing it so that it does have some automatic captions there. And then I also have down here PDF readability. If you're scanning text and creating it as a PDF, you might find that it does not work with a screen reader because it's actually saved as an image. And the way to test that is to try to double click a word on a PDF. If it highlights the entire document, it is an image. If it lets you highlight just that one word, it's actually saved as text. So that's what you're looking for. Any questions on accessibility or universal design?
Nope.
Cool. Okay. Feedback and grading. I think one of our highest complaints from students is that they're not getting quick enough feedback or specific enough feedback. So I do like to throw out the idea of using rubrics. It is, if you have the same rubric used from week to week in your course on a similar type of assignment, it saves you time in the long run. You just click the different boxes and the rubric within the assignment will actually tally it up for you. But it also gives students some really quick feedback that they don't have to argue with or wonder, why they got what they got. So that's something I recommend at least to consider. We also ask that you respond to your Bushnell emails within 24 hours or so. Even if it's just like, hey, great question, I'll get back to you on Monday about this. I don't have time right now or whatever it is. Some instructors do provide their phone number for text. That is up to you. It's not something we require or anything, but some instructors really like being available by text. So I'm just going to throw that out there. In Beacon Learning, there's also an exclude empty grades in your gradebook setting. And I want to point this one out because this does cause some confusion. So in your course, if you go to grades, and you wait for the page to load, go to the setup tab, and this parent category, go to edit settings. There's this little checkbox here, exclude empty grades, and it does come checked by default. But what it means is that any blank assignment, maybe it's a future assignment that doesn't have anything in it, won't count against the student, which is great until the end of the semester. If someone hasn't submitted a grade or submitted an assignment and it's still blank, it won't be counting against them, and they will think they have an inflated sense of their grade, or at least a distorted sense of their grade. So I recommend putting in zeros for missing assignments. And then the other option, I guess, would be to uncheck this near the end of the term so that anything that is still blank now gets counted as a 0. I don't really, let me say it this way, if you start the course with this unchecked, your students will start with an F, and they will always go up. So they will never, go from an A to a C, but they might go work themselves from a C to an A. And there is some argument on why you would want to do that, but in either case, just be really clear when you're communicating with your students on whatever you choose to do. The grade me block is another thing I want to show. With editing turned on, you can scroll down to the far left and you can add a block. The one called grade me is really popular among our students or among our instructors. And it will tell you if there's something that's been submitted that doesn't have a grade on it yet. So if, let's say, Susie submits week 1 late and you've accepted it, you've allowed her to turn it in late, but maybe you don't notice when she submits it, this will tell you, hey, Susie submitted week 1 assignment to week 1. So you can go in and grade it. Grade book display type, you can change it if you want it to display as a percentage or as a raw score. That's up to you. This will link you on how to change that. I won't go into that right now unless you want me to, but there are a lot of recording options for instructors. We have a license where you can download Screencast-O-Matic, and you can also use the free one up to 15 minutes. It does have a little watermark in the side of it, but I really like Screencast-O-Matic. I think it's easy to use, and it gives you an MP4 that you can, do whatever you need with. You can also record within Big Blue Button, and there's some other things. You can record, obviously, in Teams like we're doing right now. To import a course, which is probably what most of you need to do, you'll go to this administration block in your empty course and click import. You will wait for it to load again. You'll find your course that you want to import from, so probably your 2019 course or something. You'll hit continue, and you can unselect anything you don't want to import. So I wouldn't recommend, let me say it this way, I would recommend unchecking announcements and your syllabus from the previous course because you don't actually need those duplicated in your next course. If you do, you can always just delete them later. That's fine too. So import a course, and then when you do that, if you come down here back to the administration block and expand reports and click dates, you can actually change your due dates for all different types of assignments in one view, in one page. So it's changing to assignments now. I'm going to expand all. Here's all of the assignments in my course and their due date here. So I can actually have my syllabus pulled up on one half of my screen or on paper in front of me, and I can go through here and update them all. The one caveat that I will say is in this view, it only goes by increments of 5 on the minutes. So you could only do 11:55 p.m. On this view. But if you go into the assignment settings itself, you can change it to 59. I also want to say, and this won't be a problem for David, but it is on military time. It's on the 24-hour clock. So 11:55 is actually 23:55. Yeah, so sometimes that throws people off. You can also create an event, and you can also do a manual creation of grades. So let's say, well, this again won't apply to you, David, but if you do an in-person quiz, you can go into your gradebook setup, and scroll down to the bottom. You can add a grade item manually or a category if you're trying to create these categories here. Let me show you activity tracking and completion next. In your course, let me go back. You can also add this block the same way we did before called completion progress. So this will show up for the students just with their own assignments, but it will also show you an overview of all of your students and how far they've made it through the course. So they can work their way up to 100% themselves, but you can kind of watch how everyone in your course is doing. And the way that that's getting its information is in each of these activities. If I go to edit settings, and I scroll down to activity completion, there's a few different things you can do. If you leave it as manual, students can manually mark the activity as completed. It's just whenever they check the little box next to the assignment. You can say, do not indicate activity completion, and it won't actually coincide with that little block on the left. Or you can say, show activity as complete when conditions are met. And based on your activity, whether it's a quiz or a forum or just an assignment like this, you have some different options to choose here. So it's kind of cool. You get to set when the student has this marked as complete on their side. So maybe I just want them to submit something to this assignment for it to be marked as complete. That's a great option. So as soon as they do submit something, then it will turn green and they'll say it's like 5% complete with the course or whatever. Anything so far in what I've covered? I'm just going to do one more thing. Hey, Rick. Hey, Ray Ricks. You caught us just at the end, so you'll probably see a little bit here, but I am recording, so you can rewatch it from the start if you want. So the last thing that I'm going to show you, since again, I think you, Trevor, and David are both a little bit more power users. Down here in the left, you can also add this rain help block. And if you click on the rain help, you'll have all of these different little widgets or whatever. My favorite is the accordion widget. So you can copy this HTML text here, and you can go into a label. Oh, you can go into a label, which is what this is, and you can paste it all in here. So what this will do is it'll give you title panes, content placeholders, and you can just enter in your different things here to display as an accordion. So it's kind of cool. It will collapse and keep your content much more manageable. It's also, I think, more visually appealing than just staring at a bunch of text on the page. So there are some different options here. Some display better on a mobile device than others. The tabs, I would say, don't display quite as well as the accordion. And then some are also more accessibly friendly than others. So there is this page, you can kind of enter in a text that looks like you're flipping through a book, which is kind of fun. But yeah, so all that fun stuff if you're looking to get a little bit fancy, but also just organize your course a little bit more. Are there any questions from anything I have covered or anything I didn't cover? Anything that's worked well for you in the past that you would like to share? Not at all. Okay, well, you can also use this participants page to select all and send them a message if you're looking to write to the users in your course, the students in your course. That's a good way to just kind of say, hey, course starts Monday. I look forward to seeing you either virtually or face-to-face. And it does give you the option to export it. So you can kind of have your roster in an Excel view, keeping in mind that this could change during the add drop period. Anything else? Did I put you guys to sleep?
No, I'm just, I mean, I'm looking at certain things that I already know I don't have, but I'll have to get them set up. Things like, how do I add a picture of myself to the Bushnell University webpage? How do I put the Bushnell University logo on, or embed that into my emails and that type of thing?
Oh, okay. I gotcha. When you say add your profile to the Bushnell website, do you mean my.bushnell? Just for clarity.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably my Bushnell.
Yeah. So I'll just show you that real quick. When you log in, you can kind of click this little avatar placeholder, go to my profile and settings,
Okay.
and then under this, I think it's under the profile one, you can just do a my photo, replace photo.
Okay.
And it does have to be this certain pixel size, but I don't think that's too hard. And then in a similar way, you'll go up to Beacon Learning profile, scroll down, edit profile, change your current picture.
Okay.
Yeah. The email outline or the email signature is, I think they have it posted somewhere, and I'm trying to remember. It might be under faculty and staff. It might not be here. Okay, Bushnell logos and brand book. If you click on that link, it will take you into the SharePoint with our different logos and stuff. I think one of these, Bushnell Outlook signature style.
Okay.
I think if you open this, you can just copy this and paste it into your email. It does look like there are instructions here too. So let me just share this link actually, or hopefully share. Let me see. I think you might have to be logged into your Bushnell account, but that link should take you there. Was there another question you snuck in there?
No, I think that was it.
Okay. Anyone else? Trevor, do you have a favorite trick with Beacon Learning since you've used it before too?
Nope, I've forgotten everything. It's been 3 years.
Okay. Well, then you'll have some fun playing around with all the new stuff
right.
now.
That's right.
If you do try to, you will notice, I think it was like a year and a half ago maybe that they updated this. When editing is turned on, you can just drag and drop files into and onto your course, and it will upload them for you. So like your syllabus, for example, if you have it saved to your desktop, you can just drag and drop it onto your course and bada bing, bada boom, and then move it around and rename it as necessary. I think that's kind of a cooler update. Anyone else?
No, I think that's got me covered anyway.
Okay, perfect. Feel free to use the help ticket system, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. If you have any problems accessing an account or trying to find information, we will move as quickly as we can, obviously given courses starting on Monday, but that's probably still the best way to get help, or talk to your dean, who can also probably help with certain things.
All right.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for coming, and have a great rest of your Friday.
We'll do so. Thanks.